and there's nothing that can stand in their way, but there is a long, long way between them and that top spot if they want to be able to take it. They have to fight S2G for it, and I'll tell you what, there is no way that that is an easy fight.
Home turf next year over in Turkey. This will be an incredible story to finish off. PMGC 2022 and look forward towards the future, but already T2K set sights towards Vampire.
Maybe look at a spoiler here and now. Stone doesn't even have a weapon and he's on the hunt. Unfortunately, a stake through the heart. Of the hopes through Stone to have the 4-player power here, but with 3, Vampire will try and carry out further mischief in this lobby.
Nepal also challenging out for that #1 spot at the moment, DRS. It's 140 points, tied with 4 AM. Inco, they fell off. Is an unfortunate truth to say that. Least for them right now, just do not have that confidence to send for that center. So many other teams have set their sights upon them. Those best compounds, and Inco is struggling to find an entrance at this point in time with the meta of the lobby shifting slightly over the days. But DRS, I think for Nepal, it would be one hell of a victory. For them, from the amount of times we've seen Nepal make their way to PMGCs before and do pretty decently well, but never towards that top side. DRS has really turned things around this past year. They look so fantastically strong, and you know what? They are the real soldiers now.
They are the real soldiers. You know what, Blank? This lobby is looking a bit like Christmas leftovers, because it is a turkey sandwich. Turkey at the top, turkey at the bottom here. I know it's the other way around to what you would normally see, but Fireflux at the bottom. The fact that they are the team at the bottom shows you how powerful the entirety of this lobby is, right?
Yep.
This is a team that people fear when they think about the Turkish region, and they have a 5.5 average score in this lobby, which to be a bottom place score is still really, really high in general. So I'm absolutely loving the action that we've seen so far here. Match 17. Of 18 the final Miramar, and this is where we find ourselves.
S2G. Certainly, I would say Fireflux is that team that people thought would be on top, but I think for S2G this has really been a chance for them to establish that dominance and show just what Turkey is made of. And I think that all the clutch players on this team, Razy, Kelsey, Hamzy G, every single one of these players, including Silas, a veteran of the scene, it has been a long time coming for success for S2G, just in terms of the players they currently have on board. And I think that throughout the year, people keep telling me, S2G, man, keep watching out for S2G. And I'm like, okay, I will. And, it was never always towards that top side. I was like, they're a pretty good team. They've got some cool moments. And then they really surprised me. Then they really excited me. And then we get to PMGC 2022. Now it feels like a chance that they could take home a storyline which will be forever etched into the pages of 2023 and remembered there forwards.
Would be an excellent foundation upon which to build their year to ride to glory. Silas, Razy, Hamzy, Kelsey, all contributing so well to this roster. And looking to try and convert. The 19-point lead they hold is not certain. It's a bit tenuous, but still a bit of a breath of relief for them at this stage.
Once again, Nova takes up a lot of these positions that Inco's been taking. And right now, I think Nova's been holding them just a little bit better. Inco, though, want to reframe themselves towards the top, make Brazil proud. And now they have to face off against the two-time champions themselves. It's Nova here in the compound. Inco have already made their way in. Nade out the side, won't do too much damage. Frozen, tickle just a little bit.
Nenebete peeks out, gets a little bit of damage over onto Frozen again with the nade. Paraboy not going to be able to suppress the door frame just yet, but Jane is here from D2K. A long-range shot over onto Order. And we'll go for the spray down as well. That's going to slow down Nova on the approach and maybe a little bit of a gift for Inco at a crucial juncture for them. Nova, they've let it slip just slightly. But they will not give out. Not yet. They have more staying power than that. Paraboy still on that ridge line. Squash suppressing that position. Becca, Nenebete close. Auto shotgun for Nenebete and through the window will slow things down. Ooh. Squash from the staircase. Sees the muzzle flash from Paraboy. Sees the tracers pierce the smoke. And sends one back straight through the heart of the off angle from Nova. Squash, spray around the side. A drop shot to Frozen hits the up as well and will be able to find another knock. Squash pivotal in the fight, but Jimmy's still active. Seen too that will not go their way, and Nova's hopes have crumbled. 111 points going into the final game, and that is not going to be enough for them, Blank.
I think that's it. I don't think we are seeing the three-peat. I think we can confirm it right here, right now. Will it be another Chinese team on top, though? Will 4 AM take them all the way, or will we have a different region, country representing that title? And will that title be represented in the home country for 2023? There's a lot on the line here for all these teams. Brazil kick things off so strongly towards day one. Can they maintain that presence? happy to see Inco there. They really brought things back. I think that was a fight that they took phenomenally well. They did get a little bit bailed out there by Jane when Order went down for a very, very long shot from T2K. But regardless, it was well placed. It was well played. They got into the building early enough and set up there and after. So very, very well done to Inco. Now sets them just a little bit behind S2G. Still, that lead is fairly strong.
4 Angry Men close to the 3 players from Vampire. Remember, they lost a player to a hot drop coming on through against T2K, who have now got 2 eliminations on the cards for this match. Match number 17. 4 Angry Men sharing Los Leones with them right now. Happily so as well. You don't really need to be too worried about having another team in Los Leones. There is plenty of space. You can house comfortably 3 squads in this location. And even then, 4 Angry Men, they're playing 2-2 split, so they're not even fully in there.
Taking a look around the map at the moment with this shift. Inco central, the first time in a long time. This will give them some real agency into this game. This could be exactly what they wanted, what they needed, John.
Alpha 7 and DRS both on this eastern side. Potential for them to come into conflict on the hills of Impala. S2G near Picardo right now will be playing edge as well, but they're close to Fireflux, their Turkish counterpart, at the bottom of the tables to their south side. If S2G take a straight shot to the circle, they crash into Godlike Stalwart. Further than that, Wolves a little bit further south, but that western side has plenty of cover for them to operate around.
Influence Kevin coming in from the south, in the north. Vampire Esports down towards that south side. Remember, they are 3 players strong, purely off the back of that initial knock coming through from T2K. It's certainly caused some big problems for a lot of these teams at the moment. But S2G, like you said, John, coming in from Picardo, a difficult rotation for them to make. They're on the outside. So many other teams have already found these big compounds towards the center. We'll see if they can find themselves an area, a little crack, a crevice. They can squeeze themselves through, get towards a good position. They might be able to play out the end of this game. Remember, Miramar, definitely their best map here in the PMGC.
The fact that the gap between 1st and 11th place, Blank, is less than 50 points is incredible. Normally we see that sort of gap between 1st and 3rd. It is so tight. But S2G have that 19-point lead to be playing around for this game, which means they can be a bit quieter. But with Inco already on 3 eliminations in that central location, they cannot let it rest.
That's the real issue, right, is Inco being in a good spot. Because if Inco is able to catch up just a little bit, S2G's lead coming into that final game becomes the scariest thing. And this is what I'm talking about. The best team on Miramar by a landslide.
By far.
41-25. Turkish teammates over on Fireflux certainly make them look good. But look at that, 9k damage coming through from top on Stalwart. Closest behind them in Kelsey with 6,410. Top has certainly been putting the rest of the team on his back and just dragged, limbs dangling, through this PMGC to where they currently are, 137 points, a team that we cannot count out. And Godlike, they've been so hungry for this first place title in such a long time. We can't count them out at this point in time. And they're certainly sticking to their namesake. They are very much stalwart.
Circle shrinks again, leaves Los Leones in the dust. No settlement other than Impala right on that eastern side in the mix. DRS close to Alter Ego. DRS, remember, a chasing team, currently 19 points behind S2G. So every point would matter if they're able to pick up something sneaky here. Spotting the player starting to roll out from Alter Ego. A spray, looks for one, has to duck back behind because Pondbit's close by and knows that he'll be moving up to deal with it. Potato on that left flank for Rules to be worried about as well. And now Alter Ego can take this fight with knowledge.
There's going to be a real slow fight here for Alter Ego. For DRS, though, this is a real blockade that they did not want to see at this stage in the game, especially down towards the southeast side where Honestly, the terrain is very difficult to traverse. One knock goes through though, over towards Alter Ego, Pomb it down, Vampire Esports find one on towards Pick Feet.
The Wolves in their fairly central location will be under threat from a lot of angles. A second knock over towards Alter Ego for DRS. And the teams beneath S2G are circling. S2G on that southwest side, moving through Los Leones right now. Have not managed to pick up their feet and gain speed so far, but they are still 4 strong, and it's still very early doors in this Miramar. Stage 3. Too early to call.
Potato sits down, sits back. DRS effectively deals with the challenge in front of them. Doesn't even see a blockade as the front bumper smashes through it.
Potato has been spotted, laid broad as well. Mythic further up the hill, but Killer's more preoccupied.
Got that fancy feet, or at least the fancy knee work.
Doesn't get stolen away. That's another point for DRS. 3 eliminations now. And Mythic somehow gets away with the angle that he was holding. Crawls over to the rock, and Buradam are close by to see that it's even harder for Alpha 7. They've let it slip away just that little bit in 6th place, but they are still close enough for 2 matches to make a massive difference.
S2G take a real interesting rotation, actually slither in behind Fireflux down towards that south side. Play from that position. Looks good to me, in fact, because they'll have some high ground to mess around with. Up towards that northern side, that fielded area, real difficult to play. Impala still just about in. We could have those eastern shifts going through, but I doubt it at this stage of the game. I think our real contenders here that we are watching out for, 4 AM over towards the west. Just outside Vampire Esports, still with 4 players. A major sticking point for them is losing Svan early. Tends to go for these outrageous scouts recently, and I think that doesn't necessarily have to go for the best position in the circle, just go for a position where they can play as 4. They play as 4 much better together. I think Svan's trying to take a lot of these games into his own hands. Don't think that's necessary. We saw what they were able to do earlier with the power of that teamwork. But he is a key member of that team.
Could S2G be rotating in behind DRS here? There is an opportunity for them to potentially slow things down. Inco have managed to make their way central yet again, and they will be holding on the crossroads with the Chi Junction to their south, Buradam across the road. T2K behind them. It is treacherous every which way you look. 4 Angry Men. The only team in the top 5 yet to get an elimination apart from, well, S2G and 4 Angry Men. We've said that their playstyles feel fairly similar.
John, this position from Inco is not good. This is horrible. They would like to leave, and Buradam's got them dead to rights here. A few shots going through is all it takes, and I think that they're lacking the medical supplies. Either way they move, this is pretty much a graveyard for them. There's no coffins, but he's certainly covered with the hay inside that little shack they're playing in.
The saving grace they have right now is the fact that no one can really push them at this stage. But if they get spotted, that's kind of it. Inco, they have been spotted.
It's a horrific spot.
T2K open up. There's a shot back over towards Fireflux, but you've got to wonder if it's going to really make a difference. They are just getting picked apart here out in the open. There's nothing to do here. Vitali, last standing, might be able to stay alive as a solo, but that is Inco torn to shreds.
I mean, those 3 eliminations from earlier over towards Nova were decent. But taking a central position like this,
And up a point for it. And now there's shots over towards Godlike Stalwart that they can take. They do need to have a route into the circle, and 2 knocks have been found. Scry loses a smoke. Unsure about where to really be worried about, but Schwepp looks to mount up. They know there's Nox, they know there's chaos here. Fluke leads the charge.
Goodness.
Down and out wide. Vampire, remember, they lost a player early. Scry taken down on the opening run, and up to the vehicle they go. The burnt out husk of the pickup truck will be now their operating point. A lovely little shot around the edge, looks for more. Pika wants to heal, a breakout wide, gets punished, and now Godlike Stalwart down to 2 active. 1 knocked down onto the floor, Ravenclaw cut out of it. Unfortunately, T2K are just third-partying everywhere they can spot. Pika hiding under the hay. Somehow it's protecting him from the fire. Another nade could prove to be disastrous if it lands on the target. If it's on the money, it's good, but falls short just.
Schwepp sends one back, hopefully on target for Vampire. Another Molotov right into the crevice, but it goes far again, and Pika's going to send one back, and it's right next to them. Svan from 4AM takes that shot over towards Schweppes. It looks like 4AM starting to rotate over towards this western side. You can see now Svan's on our screens, taking shots over towards inside that smoke, ensuring there's no players inside that one. Vitali also in the sights, but 4AM will have to move further in. So will S2G. Calci currently behind DRS John, checking out their rotation, checking out their mark.
The res back south because Fireflux have managed to spot Svan.
Svan going down again. We said this earlier, is that is like a very bad thing for 4AM to lose. Now S2G looking towards their position, rotating almost hand in hand with them. And now 4AM has to play without their star player. See if they can realign themselves, restabilize versus S2G. But that Mini 14 from Calci looks extremely dangerous, and Hamzy G equally on so with a beautiful spray from the M4. Needs to reload instantaneously. WWX gets out the way, but there's still targets available to him.
Out of the frying pan and into the fire, though, because DRS are across the road. Another team in the same situation. They both started on 140 points blank at the moment. DRS are ahead, but it is such a squeaky tight gap. As Fluke gets taken down. Another player knocked, and it's 1 versus 1. Ravenclaw, did he get spotted? I don't even know who took it down. It was Buradam with a third-party engagement.
Down towards that south side, concocting a trap in this area for anyone to fall into, and already it's this ditch that S2G didn't quite push up towards, and 4AM has been forced to find themselves in. And S2G look to be more and more confirming their championship title as these matches go on. Who will challenge them? Will anyone challenge them?
DRS really the only team now that can really have a shot here. Alpha 7, they do have an outside chance, but S2G take a knock to a nade. It's actually going to DRS as well. Silas might be resable here. The last player from 4AM is just over this ridge from Hamzy. Spots the backpack, and that should be curtains for 4 Angry Men. Shuts them down on 140 points, and in comes a push. Buradam and IHC going head-to-head. Kengzo close by. Look at a maybe look for a heal. Try and get something done. Tiger is there as well. Does manage to pop the heal from Kengzo, but the burn from Alex sees Tiger low. Last player standing needs to confirm that heal. Kengzo wants the reses as well.
IHC, so around the side. Kengzo,
oh no,
doesn't even want to take a moment to breathe, and that might just be curtains for Buradam. That moment of unbridled aggression coming through from Kengzo spelt their downfall. Fireflux still going nicely on the edge at the moment, but they will have to move further in towards that circle. Vitali in the mess.
Further ahead of them. There's a foothold there. Solke moving closer to the position for S2G. As time goes on, S2G don't even need to get too many more points. The placements will start to add up from them, and they had that 19-point buffer to play with. 10 points a game. If they can reach that margin, nobody can catch them. Turkish team that has been 7th place, 2 eliminations. It's not the biggest points total, and could open a window for DRS to try and pry their way in.
DRS has 4 right now. On the southeast side, Hamzy G falls. Will be confirmed, and now the turkey sandwich closer than ever here.
अगाडिपट्टि हुन सक्ने एक्सन पोसिबल एक्सनहरूलाई चाहिँ हुन दिउँ त्यसपछि सायद अरू फर्दर अप्रोच लगाउन सकिन्छ मिथिकको केसमा नेट यदि यो नेट जान्छ भने त यो पुरै टुर्नामेन्टको सबसे बेस्ट नेट हुन सक्छ बट ओभर अगाडिपट्टि गएछ प्रोजेक्टाइलले मारेन यहाँ
2G's got to be a little bit more worried. So unfortunate. But for the rest of the tournament, S2G has been absolutely stellar here on Miramar, and it's match 5, day 3, where they dropped the ball with it. This was meant to be their hope over on match 5 that would give them some decent points, knowing that they are the kings of Miramar. But at the moment they've been dethroned, there's been a betrayal, and the red carpet stained more red by S2G.
The more Alpha 7 can get, the better it looks for a Brazilian playing team to have a chance here. They started off so strong. Remember, the first day ended with the Brazilian 1-2-3. Inco, Alpha 7, Influence, Kemin all at the top of the tables. We thought Alpha 7 might have dropped off day 2, but day 3 has been good to them. 5 eliminations now as they wither IHC stepping up towards them. Carrillo wants to take the fight aggressively. It's characteristic
Delta
of Alpha 7, but a nade over to Mythic on the off angle might give them second thought, might give them pause here.
Points, they know they need points. If they can confirm it, it's good.